Hello guys, a lot of things are happening. We are back to cover it all. Shaunak, Aditya are with me today, and we are going to discuss the world of transfers, ever-changing world of transfers. We've seen Raheem Sterling join Chelsea now. We've seen Lukaku go back to Inter after all that saga that happened. And there have been interesting moves that Spurs have been making also. So let's get this party started. Guys, we are so close to 100 subscribers now. So it would be amazing if you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you like, if you feel like it. Yeah, anyway, so welcome back to No Sitting on the Fence, everyone. आज हम जो भी ट्रांसफर्स वगैरह हो रहे हैं उसको एक फनी और एक रेट करने वाले हैं हमारे ओपिनियन से। सबसे पहले आदित्य गुप्ता, तेरे को तो काफी चोट लगी होगी, पता नहीं, तू तो मतलब तेरे ओपिनियंस वगैरह ग्रुप में तो काफी दिख रहे थे जब माने मूव हुआ था बायर्न में। सो हाउ वुड यू रेट दैट एज अ ट्रांसफर बीइंग अ लिवरपूल फैन?
मैं रेट करूं बायर्न के हिसाब से तो आई विल गिव हिम 8 on 10। काफी सॉलिड साइनिंग है बायर्न के लिए। एक वर्ल्ड क्लास प्लेयर आ रहा है who can play in multiple positions, can cover all the front three positions and Mane gives them goals. But as a लिवरपूल देखा जाए तो हाँ यार, हमारा मेन प्लेयर गया मेरे ख्याल से साला के बाद, तो I don't want to say that, but हाँ माने गया तो मुझे तो अच्छा नहीं।
बट जब एक मेन प्लेयर गया और एक तुमने काफी एक्सपेंसिव साइनिंग किया भी है डार्विन न्यूनेस में, सो
पहले तो देखते हैं। माने के आसपास तो नहीं है नूनियस अभी तो एटलीस्ट, बट हाँ ओवरऑल एक फाइनेंशियल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें और उनके हिसाब से देखें तो हाँ कि सेंस करता है, वो क्लब के लिए मेक सेंस करता है कि हाँ जो हमने खरीदा है वो मतलब 10 साल देगा हमें नूनियस। वो 2-3 साल ही था माने, तो उसके हिसाब से मुझे इतना बुरा नहीं है। नूनियस आने के बाद हाँ, जैसे तूने कहा चोट लगी है, चोट पे थोड़ी मरहम लगी है नूनियस के बाद, बट थोड़ा तो दर्द है ही।
तो शौनक, what would you rate Darwin Nunez move to Liverpool?
See, I think Darwin Núñez will at least give them 6 to 8 years. So 100 million might sound a lot, Abhi, but in the long run, I think it will be a decent signing. I don't think it is as good as as good as a deal they got on Jota, but I think Darwin Núñez is a 7 out of 10 signing. And when it comes to Mane, I think it's really poor business on Liverpool's end, letting a player of Mane's stature go for only 32 million. But again, it's a great signing for Bayern. I think it's a 9 out of 10 for me for Bayern Munich.
Nice. So speaking about 100 million flop strikers, Lukaku made his move back to Italy and Inter Milan. So as a Chelsea fan, what would you rate this? I mean, first give your opinion as to how his time was at Chelsea, and then let's talk about the transfer.
See, I think he was initially it started off well. I mean, there was potential, but I think he was the one who ruined it for himself, right? So I don't think Chelsea, the board or anything is to be blamed for this, because it was literally because of the player that this move fell apart, and everything which happened. So I think for Inter Milan, it's a good deal. They got 115 million for him, and now they're getting him on a loan. The only silver lining for Chelsea, however, is that Inter Milan are going to pay all his wages. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to swallow, but it was a very poor deal for Chelsea, and well, Inter Milan are clear winners. So I think I feel like Lukaku will do well in the Serie A this season. So it's a solid signing for Inter. I think it's easily an 8 out of 10 for Inter Milan.
Why not 10 or 10 भाई? इससे ज़्यादा क्या ही चाहिए उनको? अपने मेन मैन वापस ले आए, पैसा भी मिल गया, ये तो coutinho से भी बढ़िया डील लग रही है भाई।
हाँ, और मे बी उसके लुकाकू के इंटर जाने की वजह से मे बी द मूव दैट वी ऑल वर एक्सपेक्टिंग, डिबाला का मूव टू इंटर मिलान, इट काइंड ऑफ halted, right? So as a Dybala fan, as a former Dybala fan, I was expecting him to do well at Inter and wo pura. But anyway, as Lukaku made his move to Inter, Raheem Sterling came from Manchester City to Chelsea. So as an ex-Liverpool player, First, I'll go to Aditya Gupta. कि पहले तू बता कि what do you feel about this transfer and what would you rate it?
For me, it makes sense for Chelsea. He can cover same like Mane can cover all three positions in the front three. And the मतलब मुझे लगता है जो सिटी में उसका स्पेल था, काफी लोग ऐसा था क्या सिटी के पास एग्वेरो है, मारेज है, रॉड्री है, पर स्टर्लिंग का नाम मुझे लगता था ऐसा कम ही आया, अंडररेटेड, बट मुझे लगता था स्टर्लिंग ने बहुत मतलब काफी मेजर इम्पैक्ट था उनका उसके परफॉर्मेंस में, उनकी सिटी के इतने सक्सेस में स्टर्लिंग को जो उतना रेट नहीं मिलता है। मुझे लगता है ये मतलब सिटी के चेल्सी के लिए 8/10 साइनिंग है, क्योंकि उसका क्लासिकल मूव मुझे लगता है उसमें रिपीट हो सकता है चेल्सी में, बैक पोस्ट टैप इन उनके जेम्स और एफपीएल के हिसाब से भी देखा जाए तो काफी बढ़िया मुझे लग रहा है, प्रोस्पेक्ट लग रहा है चेल्सी में आना स्टर्लिंग का। और फाइनेंशियल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी यार 50 मिलियन में बाइंग अ प्लेयर ऑफ हिज स्टैचर मेरे ख्याल से बढ़िया साइनिंग है, काफी अस्ट्यूट साइनिंग है, और आई थिंक ही विल डू वेल विद चेल्सी, maybe even better than City probably.
Yeah, Shaunak, what's your thought? The Poli era officially begins now.
Yeah, I'm actually happy with the first signing. I think 47.5 million for a player like Raheem Sterling, like Aditya said, is a steal in my opinion. Although his wages are pretty high, I think he's earning close to 300k a week, but I think he will do wonders for the club. As Aditya mentioned earlier, he can play everywhere across the forward line, and he works really hard, and his numbers at Man City are phenomenal. He's really underrated. Plus, I think he also brings another quality of a good leader. In the England squad, we can see Raheem Sterling. He's a leader. He's an inspiration for the younger players. So I think Raheem Sterling is a really, really solid signing for Chelsea.
Yeah, even I feel that he'll provide that attacking impetus that Chelsea needs. So maybe, and especially this season where you'll be needing a depth, I feel that Chelsea. I remember Nakul said this yesterday. Is it a problem that City are selling their depth? I mean, especially in a season that is going to be coming, where depth will play a more important role. Five substitutions hai, and World Cup bhi hai beech mein. So for Chelsea to make this signing, it's a great deal in my opinion. I would also write, but in terms of City, they also sold Jesus to Arsenal, right? So. So I feel that our City making a mistake here. I mean, if you had to rate City's side, उनका side का transfer का क्या rate होगा, तो what would you say? कि are they making a mistake?
I hope so. I hope so. मतलब नुकसान तो यार सिटी के लिए काफी एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर उनके लिए मेरे ख्याल से तो उनका लॉन्गेस्ट सर्विंग था वो अभी तक, और इतना बड़ा मतलब जब जाता है तो हाँ नुकसान तो होता ही है। जैसे चेल्सी में अगर एस्पिलिक्वेटा जाता है अभी तो हाँ शायद से वो रिप्लेस कर दें, कोई प्लेयर ले लें, बट एक नो हाउ ऑफ द क्लब एंड हाउ द क्लब फंक्शंस उसका लॉस तो होता ही है। तो मेरे ख्याल से हाँ सिटी का होपफुली लॉस है ही, और मेरे ख्याल से है ही।
I mean, I think City will have to buy a few more players. I think क्योंकि attacking wise they are really lacking. I think Julian Alvarez सब लोग बोल रहे हैं he's an amazing player, amazing prospect, but Premier League is a whole different level. So basically they'll have Haaland and Alvarez who have never played in the Premier League, right? And then on the wings they have the likes of Grealish, who had a really disappointing season last year. Foden, we're still waiting for Foden to reach that level which we all want him to be at. Plus Mahrez is great, but then is he the player Pep is going to rely on to get him 25-30 goals and assists? I don't really think so. Even though Sterling played so sporadically last year, he still managed to get good numbers for City.
Yeah.
So I think City are making a mistake here by letting go of so many of their, solid players who can always, come in and do a great job for the team.
Yeah.
बट एक तरीके से नंबर्स के हिसाब से देखें तो 2 गए हैं 2 आए हैं उसी टाइप का है। नंबर्स के हिसाब से देखें तो उतना मेरे ख्याल से फर्क नहीं है, बट हाँ मेरे हिसाब से जो लीडरशिप वाली बात करी और कि नो हाउ ऑफ द क्लब होता है ना चेल्सी में, क्या मतलब सिटी ऐसे करती है ऐसे चलती है, पेप के अंडर हमें ऐसा करना है, उसका मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादा फर्क है। मेरे ख्याल से इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर तो मेरे ख्याल से सिटी हमेशा स्टैक्ड ही रहती है किसी भी कंपटीशन में। मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो प्लेयर्स के लिए शॉर्ट होंगे उस पोजीशन पे, और अगर होते तो पेप कुछ भी हो जाए नहीं बेचता भाई। वो तो जब तक 4-5 बंदे एक पोजीशन पे ना हो नहीं बेचता है। मेरे ख्याल से नंबर्स तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मेनली उसका कैरेक्टर एंड द लीडरशिप एंड द क्वालिटी इज ब्रिंग टू द साइड, वो मेरे ख्याल से बड़ा लॉस है। और चेल्सी के लिए वही सिर्फ गेन है।
सो
इन टर्म्स ऑफ
नहीं बोल करिए।
बोल
So moving to Chelsea's London rival, Tottenham. They're making splash in this transfer window, to say the least. Till now. Abhi, they've been linked to Jet Spence for their right back position, who's an excellent up and coming talent from. He played last season season Nottingham Forest में on loan from Middlesbrough. So they're reportedly.
He did get his England debut as well, no?
So
this summer.
The player that I am excited most for, although, is Bissouma, and as well as Ivan Perisic, who came on a free from Inter. Bissouma, Chelsea's former manager Conte, right? So how do you feel him transforming, like Perisic transforming the team from that left wing back position?
See, I think for me, I would rate Tottenham signings really highly. Like Perisic is a 9 on 10, solid. Bissouma is again a 9 on 10. I'm not so sure about Richarlison because I don't know how much game time will he get. But coming back to your question, I think Perisic is going to flourish under Conte. Although he's 33, but I think he's still got 2 solid years in him. Coming to Bissouma alongside Højbjerg and Bentancur. I mean, the midfield looks stacked. You know, players like Oliver Skip and Harry Winks are also really good options.
Højbjerg.
So their midfield is stacked. So I think Tottenham are having a really, really good window this time. I am really impressed by their signings.
Yeah, they're definitely making moves. Another player that joined them on from Barca was Langley, right? So Longley, as a defensive reinforcement. He didn't play much. He didn't have much game time last season at Barcelona, but he definitely will go on to provide that defensive depth that Tottenham need. I mean, last season itself, we saw that Tottenham उनमें एक change था after Conte came, but somehow I felt that और थोड़ा they could have pushed, but then they didn't have that depth, especially or this season maybe I see them getting those extra maybe 10 or 10 is much more, but then maybe 10 or 15 points more just because of that reinforcement in that depth. So I also rate their transfer window highly. They already have Champions League spot this season. So it's gonna be exciting. But like Shaunak said, I also have like Richarlison, where वो कब उसको कहाँ पे game time मिलेगा? They have Kulusevski forward में है, Kane है, Son है, बहुत सारे players हैं. They sold.
We also forgotten about a striker they bought a couple of seasons back, Vinicius. They bought for 40 million, who they loaned out to PSV. So nobody.
Richarlison का game time का तो यार 3 पोजीशन पे 4 बंदे ज्यादा तो नहीं है यार, कहीं ना कहीं तो गेम टाइम मिल ही जाएगा, प्लस 5 सब्स हैं, सॉन केन कहीं ना कहीं तो रेस्ट होंगे ही, गेम टाइम पर मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
I don't think he'll get a starting berth. I don't think he'll get a starting berth.
Starting berth, maybe he can replace Kulusevski in the future. मतलब अच्छा खेलता है तो राइट साइड खेल सकता है.
Longley is not going to be a backup. I think he's going to start because although he's looked vulnerable in the Barcelona system, when Conte will play a back 3, Clement Longley at that left centre back position, I think he will be a good option. I think he's an upgrade to Ben Davies, definitely. So I think he's going to have that starting position in their backline.
Yeah, and Arsenal are also making some moves. They signed Vieira. I mean, Arsenal and Vieira, the name in itself has a rich history, right? So, and like, what would you rate? First, I'll go to Aditya and then we'll come to Shaunak.
यार देख, सच बताऊं तो वेरा का इतना पता नहीं है ना तुझे ना मुझे, बट हाँ जितना जितना देखा है, जितना सुना है, काफी मतलब नंबर 10 पे ओडेगार्ड को, मेरे ख्याल से उसका और ओडेगार्ड का वो होगा प्लेस टू नेल डाउन। बाकी देखते हैं कि हाँ कितना वो करता है। मुझे इतना आइडिया नहीं है उसका कि कितना खेला है, क्या करा है, फोटो में क्या करा है उसने। हाँ काफी नाम है, यंग है, मे बी कैन मे बी बी द नेक्स्ट अटैकिंग वेरा। बट हाँ मेरे ख्याल से आई विल गिव हिम 6 on 10 just because I don't know him.
Yeah, I think even though I have seen Fabio Vieira play, even though I have, you know, read about him, I have seen his stats, I'd still give him a 6 on 10. Only because there's a huge difference between the Portuguese league and the Premier League. I think Arsenal will work on his physicality. They will try to condition him into being a Premier League footballer. But I think this season, I don't think he's going to have that much of an impact. Sure, he might be a good signing for the future, but as things stand right now, I don't really see him, you know, providing or creating much this season.
And Jesus, I mean, they definitely needed a striker, right? Like, क्या बोलते हैं जो, especially now that Lacazette went and Aubameyang went, सब लोग जा चुके हैं, and they needed a striker. What is the feeling around Jesus transfer to Arsenal?
I think Jesus is a top signing for the kind of money he came for. I think Jesus is a really good signing, and I watched his performance against Nuremberg during preseason. Oh, he smashed in a couple of goals. He was looking sharp. He was passing the ball around. So I think that Jesus is going to be a really decent signing for Arsenal. I would rate him, I think, 9 out of 10. I think it's a really good signing for Arteta.
Plus he suits their style as well, no? And Arteta has worked with him as well, so काफी बढ़िया signing है.
So coming to our last transfer, it's been a roller coaster ride on this transfer. So Raphinha's moved to Arsenal. I'm sorry, Chelsea. I'm sorry. Barcelona, right? So yeah, so Raphinha's moved to Barcelona. Let's talk about this. Fabrizio Romano came out, and even now that Barcelona have officially presented him as a signing, what do you feel about this signing from Leeds to Barcelona? Shaunak first.
I mean, fair play to Raphinha. He got the move he was dreaming about for so long. I think we can't really point a finger at Chelsea and Arsenal for trying to sign him, because hey, Raphinha, he was literally carrying the Leeds team, for the last couple of seasons, and he had good numbers in the Premier League. But I mean, when it comes to his transfer, it was completely on the player. We paid what Leeds wanted for him, and still he decided not to come to Chelsea or Arsenal. But yeah, it hurts, but I think we're okay without him. But yeah, surely a great signing for Barcelona. I'm not so sure how much game time he'll be getting, because I think Dembele has also extended.
Yeah.
They have Dembele, they have Ansu Fati is also coming back this season. They have Memphis, they have Ferran Torres. Yeah. They have so many, wide options. But let's say I think it's a good signing for Barcelona.
They seem to have more players than money, it seems.
I'd still rate it as only 7 out of 10 because I'm a little butthurt about the fact that he did not join Chelsea.
Aditya?
I'm a big Raphinha fan. मेरे लिए तो बहुत मतलब मैं खुश हूँ कि चेल्सी नहीं गया, लिवरपूल नहीं ले रही थी उसे, तो मैं तो खुश हूँ कि वो बारसा गया, और मेरे लिए मेरे ख्याल से he'll be the face of Barcelona in 2-3 years. मेरे लिए तो बहुत बढ़िया साइनिंग है वो बारसा के लिए. मुझे तो रफीना बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है. मेरे हिसाब से he'll make his right wing his own for the next 4-5 years in बारसा का, तो मेरे ख्याल से बहुत बढ़िया साइनिंग है वो, और 40 मिलियन से गया है. That's deserved.
It's 58 plus 10 add-ons.
Okay, so मेरे ख्याल से deserved है जो भी है. रफीना के लिए सारा deserved है मेरे लिए. मुझे वो बहुत पसंद है यार, मतलब मेरे लिए बहुत बढ़िया साइनिंग है वो बारसा के लिए। और मैंने मतलब मेरा बारसा का दोस्त है, उसको भी मैंने यही कहा है कि हाँ he'll be your face, बारसा's face। अंशु फाती उन्होंने बनाया, बट हाँ रफीनिया he'll be the next Suarez।
I mean, at least at making his move to Barcelona, he won't have to walk across the pitch on his knees now, in fear of getting relegated. Okay, guys. So it was a really fun and interesting video. We talked about transfers that have already happened. We before the season starts and as the transfer window goes on, we'll be making more content. So make sure to stay tuned to our channel. See you in the next video.